this these different widgets. We like to be able, we can edit them, we can create new ones. How about editing a widget? So let's do that. So for instance, on the client, what we could do is that on the widget, we could have like an edit widget, right? And depending on which one is selected, show the input fields, the drop downs, whatnot. Okay, so we could do it in different places. We could do we could have the just like this button, could live in here or could live inside of each one of the widgets, right? Also, the delete, the edit would also can live in different places. Notice that I'm not going to put it inside of the widget because then each widget would have to maintain a state knowing that I am being edited, right? So instead, I'm gonna keep track of that outside, right? As a single state here, I'm gonna keep track of the state of the current widget, that is being edited. Right? By default, it's no widget is being edited, right? So that if I click on a button here for editing, I mean, you might want to decide to put it inside. Yes, maybe to allow editing multiple widgets. That'd be okay, right? I want to edit instead of having to edit one at a time, right? So, but I'm going to implement it this way: edit, maybe with a dot or with a pencil. Oops, there it is. So we have a dot to be able to edit that particular widget. And when I click on it, I'm going to say on click. We're going to this dot set state. We're going to store the fact that the widget that I am editing is the current widget that I am iterating over. Okay, and then what I can do is that I can pass to the widget. I can pass to the widget whether you are being edited, right? And you are being edited. Editing. Are you being editing? Are you being edited? And it's true if your widget is this dot state dot widget, right? If you are the widget that is rendering, it's the same as the widget that is being edited, then you are being edited, right? Notice that there will only be one widget that's being edited at any one time, right? Because if I'm clicking on the button, right, I'll select different widgets that are being edited. Okay, so in the widget, I can receive that props, and what I can do is that, for instance, the delete button should only show if you're being edited. Otherwise, it should not show. Okay, so I can say here, only if I'm editing you, will I show the edit button, right? So I'll show this only if this dot props dot editing. So if it's editing, then I'll show the edit button. Oops. This can on click. Oh, I always forget. Yeah, always make sure to put it in a route in a. Okay, so if I click on the edit button, notice that now I have the X button, right? And presumably I might have like a save button, and the save button would toggle it back, right? So for instance, outside I have the editing. Oh wait, editing, not the widget. Sorry, out here I have the edit button, and then I might have a save button. I might have maybe a actually, where would I show the save button? That's another thing, right? The save button probably is better to have it inside of the widget because it'll need the state of the widget. Any new fields that have changed, any new drop downs that I've modified, all that state will live inside of the widget. I need to be able to notify from the outside, hey, the state has changed. Go and save into the server, right? So in here, not only will I have the X button, I'll have also the save button in here, right? All wrapped up in maybe inside of a span, probably. Maybe inside of a span. So I can wrap all the buttons and then have a button here for saving. Right, so if I click on edit, I say I have the X and the save button, right? And if I click on save, I can notify, hey, I'm saved. Go save my state, blah blah blah, right? And so I can do an on click, and I can notify this.props.save. Yes, I can notify the save, and then in the component, I can handle a save here. So this dot, I say save here, which is a function, right? And maybe I can pass however however the new state has changed, right? I can handle here and say, for instance, this dot set state. I can reset my state of widgets with the jet. I can put it null again and say, well, now there's no widget is being editing, right? I'm done editing, and I can pass in the save to the widget. You know, save here. Save is this dot save. Let's see. If I click on edit, notice that it changes which one I'm editing. If I click on save, notice that I'm not saving anymore, right? So I can toggle those both kinds of things. Yes. Well, same thing on this edit button. This edit button, I don't really want to have this edit button show all the time, right? I probably want to show this button, the edit button. I want to show it only when I'm being edited, right? Probably I don't want to show this all the time. So I want to toggle it. I want to toggle it only if, right? Only if this is true. Then I want to show the edit button, right? So notice that, oops, only when, wait, did I have the logic backwards? Oh, when it's not being edited. Okay, when you're not being edited, right, show it, right, and then I can save. So it allows you to toggle between the two. That makes sense, right? Now, if you're being edited, you know, if you are the heading widget, right, depending on who you are, if in the heading widget, what you might want to show are different things, right? If you are, if you're being edited, if you're not being edited, so this dot props dot editing is being passed down to you, right? If you're being edited, then you want to show an input field, right? Maybe an input field. This dot props. What's wrong with this dot props? Props. Oh, I need to wrap this inside of a div. But if you, so that's if you're editing, right? If you're not editing, then you might want to render maybe just a title. Maybe you just want to render the preview of what you might look like, right? So this might be, you might just render the this dot props dot widget dot title, you know, some content. So I might need to wrap this inside of a span. Okay. Oops. Title of undefined. Oh, did we ever pass the widget? We probably didn't pass the widget. Yeah, we need to pass the widget, right? Widget is this dot props dot widget to each one of these. Oops, copy. We probably want to pass also whether you're being edited or not, right? So you're saying, you know, editing this dot props dot editing. so that we can have this props. So there it is. So notice that they're showing the title, but when we click, we can edit the widget and then save it, and it goes back to the title. That makes sense, right? Obviously, the paragraph would be something else. It would have a text area, so that something similar for the paragraph. You have this, and then for the paragraph, it would be a different logic. Instead of an input field, it will be a text area. Right, and right, so you click on it, you get a text area, whereas over here you get an input field, it'll be a text area. Make sense? Right. Now the actual thing that you're modifying here would be different for each widget. Right. For the YouTube widget, you would be editing the source. Yes, URL. If you're editing the paragraph, you would be editing the text. Right. For the heading, probably you'll be editing the text, and you'll be editing the size, right, of the heading. Right. So for instance, in the heading widget, not only would you have an input field, you might also have a select. Probably you need to put this in a div. Right, and then the select, you might have the sizes. Right, so this would be heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so for the widget, for the heading widget, you would have the text plus the size. For the paragraph widget, you'll have maybe just the text. Okay. What about these input fields? What would you put in there? Well, this input field will have to be able to handle on change, right, and edit the state of that input field, right. So the value, it could be the props.title, but that's not going to work for us, is it? Right. Is it value? This.props.widget, sorry, widget.title. Oops, widget title. Notice that it allows me to edit it, right? But notice that I can't change it, because I cannot change values of the properties that are being passed to me, right? I can only change values of things that are in my state. Okay, so one way to do that is to have a local state that keeps track of the widget that you're editing, and it copies it from the properties that you're passing me, so I can then edit it locally in my own state. Right, so that the widget by default is this.props.widget. Now I have a copy of what you're passing me in my local state. Now I can say that this is equal to this.state.widget.title. See that? Right? So that if I make a change, right, in the on change, right, I can update, I can say, pass me the event, okay, and what I'll do is that I will grab the new title from the event target dot value, and then I can change the state. I can say this dot set state, the widget. I'll copy all the properties of the widget, right? Where I have the size, I might have the name, the size, the title, everything. I would copy everything over, but I'm going to override the title to be this new title. Okay. Actually, no. This would be from the previous state, right? So this would be previous state. Do I need a parentheses, an extra parentheses somewhere? So this would be previous state dot widget. Copy that with a new title. Let's see if we broke this widget, and now I can change it, right? And when I click on save, I would need to pass this new widget with this new title, pass it so that it can be sent over to the server for update, right? So for instance, on save, where's our save button? Where's our save button? Okay, so here's a conundrum, right? The save button is in our parent, so we can't call it from here. So the save button perhaps should be brought down here so I can call you and pass you this this new state, right? I'll leave that up to you.